Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. Today I figured I'd do a how-to or do-it-yourself video. I was inside watching some videos. Yes, I do watch YouTube videos to get inspiration on creating and making modifications on my own vehicle. So today what we'll be doing, I top my car, which my other pipe, which is my solar shower. We'll save that video for another day. This side looks pretty bare. So I purchased myself a 5-foot pipe, 2 inches. Has a unscrew cap on this end. See if I can do this with one hand. And on the inside, wrapped up. Of course, this will all be mounted. We still got to get it all prepped, put together, and of course painted black to match the vehicle, you know. Inside of here, we got our 2 poles, and the only one that would fit for mine, because of being 5 foot, I got myself a 5 foot by 7. The 6 by 8 was too big. So 5 foot by 7, which actually measures out to be 4.5 foot by 6.5 foot. We'll attach this tarp on the top. It will angle down here. I have 2 5-foot poles that will be my ends. And even though it's not too big, it would give me some shade in the daytime and when I'm camping, and just be able to enjoy a little time there relaxing. So let's get started on this project and see where it all takes us, and maybe it'll give all of you inspiration to do your own. Let's go. Okay, so I got everything laid out here. Depending on the size of your top of your car, how big you want to make your canopy will depend on how big your tarp would be. As you can see, I have a 5x7 tarp. I have my 5-foot 2-inch PVC pipe, which is about the maximum that you can fit the tarp, as well as 2 poles inside. You have to really get them down tight to get them slid through the one end cap. So you have the end cap here. I got just a regular cap for the other side, and then we've got the nut to open and close for the thread in on this side. I used for my solar shower, and I'm also going to use on this, is just some truck bred pro grade spray paint. For doing this project, I would say do it over a weekend. By the time if you don't use a 5-foot section and you use a longer piece, like say maybe 7 foot, and you cut it, by the time you get done gluing it, leaving that set for a few hours, spraying on the truck bed, I believe this is 72 hours to talk about. 72 hours full cure before placing items on a truck bed. Well, I guess maybe I don't have to worry about that since I don't have a truck bed. But yeah, so got those. Okay, first off, we're going to have to figure out where we're going to get the bolts mounted onto our pipe. So we'll need to find out where we need to drill. I went to the pipe, found the middle of the pipe. Depending on your tarp, your grommets may not be perfectly centered. This tarp, one side of the grommet is 1 inch different than what this side is. So I just took the center, lined up, found out where basically the ends were. Like this one, as you can see, is actually a little bit further away. That's fine. I can always bunch back, put my tarp, even though it's not really taut here, I can go ahead, and once these are anchored down and I'm pulling to get my poles up, it's going to have that tension on it. So I would rather have a little more play. And like on this other side, you got right here and here, you're actually right about at the edge. And tarps, they do pull, they do have a little bit of give. So again, that's just the reason why I would rather have a little less then more. Because if I get a tarp and it's a little bit different, I mean, it's $3. So I can still replace that. I don't have to worry about my bolts that are sticking out not matching up with the grommets of that tarp. So let's get started on, we'll get these drilled, and then we'll probably get to sanding up all the pieces, and then mounting the bolts and nuts on there, gluing the ends, and then we'll have to probably let it set for a couple hours, and we'll come back and we'll spray it. One more thing before I get started up on this with drilling and power tools or anything. First off, I did use a measuring tape, so you probably need a measuring tape. Second thing, if you're using any kind of power tools, make sure you got your safety glasses on. Yeah, them eyes are pretty important, especially when you're going out and doing tiny venturing. So let's get started. So I actually grabbed a 5/16 nut and bolt is what these are. So my drill bit I'm using is a 1/4 inch. Again, depending on what you do for size, it might be different for you. One thing with PVC, they make nice pretty little there we go. That slides that right down there nice and good. All right. I'm going to try to keep my wind up may not be perfect, but they're in the ballpark of where each of them are. So I'm just using one of the side pulls to look like I'm about the same distance from how my holes are. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Your grommets are a little bit bigger holes, at least for mine. So, plus I have that little bit of play. One more check here. Let's line there, line there. I like that. As I have multiple spots, I am just going to check to make sure that that's where I had placed. Yep, 26.5. You notice I actually went into reverse, just trying to get a little indentation so my drill bit would not slide around on the pipe. What we'll end up doing is we'll go from the inside and we'll stick out through the top and we'll anchor it on with that nut there. Might even use some Loctite on my threads, not for sure yet. Right. First one. Right in here. Middle. Your end one. That works fine. The other side looks good. Let's get to sanding this now. I'd say with this, probably just do some fine sandpaper. That's what I've got here. I think I have extra fine here. It looks like 220 for this. Otherwise, we got 120. And you just basically need to take the shine off of the pipe. So. I was also saying, if you don't have a sander home, just buy some square sandpaper. You can always cut, and you can always use a little bit of elbow grease, and it comes off as well. We just want to get that surface roughed up so our paint will adhere to that a lot easier and stay there. Okay, so I'll try to capture this a little. So here's the cap that I haven't sanded yet. Hopefully you can see with the sunshine on there, you got that nice little shiny. You actually want to get that off. And that's how the pipe was here. You are going to get dusty, so we're all close. You basically just want to have it all flat looking, no shine to it. If there's still some shine, take your sandpaper and just wrap it up until you don't see a shine. So yeah. Okay, I got the end out here with the piece of yarn, and grab me a bolt there. And then on the end of it, I'll take my hot glue, put a little dab. So I actually have another stick. And I'll push the end of that yarn right on there. I'm just going to take my time pulling. You don't want to go too fast. Just want to pull that yarn back up. Take it right there, and then just take your time maneuvering it around. Until it comes out. Once it comes out, just go ahead and peel that hot glue off. Grab a nut. And thread on. I've seen people put really thin wire also along. You do it that way. Either way works, whatever you got a style to get in there. But there's one of them. I got this one already set. Let's go ahead and pull that one in. There we go. Two. That's right here. Might as well get that third one taken care of. These ones are a little bit easier. I can grab onto those. The last one here. Glue on the end. There we go. Got all three of them all on there. Alright, so I did decide to go inside the course and everything that I have in my toolbox to grab some just removable Loctite. Since this is on your car and you will be driving the vibration, so all I did was back the nut off a little bit. Put some on the threads. And back down. Did grab two pliers. Didn't apply a lot of pressure. I don't want to mess up my threads, but just enough to hold on to it so we can tighten the bottom. When it dries, it should keep that right there in place. If you have any extra around, just grab yourself a paper towel. Just wipe any excess off. I'll show you right here. This is actually mounted. The tarp, then we'll just go over each of the spots. Let's grab some of them. It's actually an air clean nut that I got. Those will go ahead. Just go ahead and tighten down. Of course, it's going to move a little just because that sits inside, but with all three of them, they'll be in place, and then we'll pull that to make it taut on the car to make our little canopy. So once you're completely done with drilling your holes, cleaning all your surfaces there, and you're happy, and got your bolts and nuts secured, everything like that, we'll go ahead and we'll put the end caps on. With those, again, you're going to need whatever kind of pipe you got. I have PVC, so I got the primer, then I got cement. Basically, the primer is like an acetone, it more or less just cleans it. Surface area. I'll just go ahead and makes it nice and purple. Grab your end that you're going to be clean or going to be adhering to. Put some on that. I'll also do the top. I'm just going to take the cap off here. Cut that end. Let's flip this over. Since that one doesn't have as much to adhere to, we're just going to do a small amount on that side. All right. You get it primed, and go ahead and grab your cement. Put some on the end. And on the end of the fitting that you're putting on. You're basically going to just do a twist and turn. Make sure that's all the way down to the end. For a moment or two. To the other side. Cap here. Get some on this. Again, just push that on there and turn as you're pushing on. Hold it for a moment or two. Doesn't take much. Once you put this on, you're done. You can't go back and put them. It would be a little more difficult to get the holes drilled and the bolts through. You could do it. Because you have the opening on that side. I'm going to let that sit for probably a couple hours. We'll come back and then we'll go and paint it. Okay, so it's been a few hours since the glue had time to sit. I just figured I'd give it a little extra, get some cleaning up, do some other things. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and spray top of it, and then I'll probably leave it for about a half an hour, flip it to turn to get the rest of it, and then probably wait about an hour or so and we'll do another coat, and we'll get her all painted up. Okay. Alright, got another can of this stuff inside. I'm going to let that sit for a while. We'll turn and get the rest of it. I got most of the ends done right at the beginning. And then we'll probably wait for about an hour, give her another good coat, and make sure it's all covered. And then we're just going to let it sit. Probably tomorrow or the next day we'll get her mounted up on the car. All right, we'll see you then. All right, so we're getting ready to put it on here. I've added some cushion underneath, just like I've done on the other side with some foam. See that extra padding to pull. I've got my zip ties wrapped around, so they go wrap around, they go underneath the bar, back over the top of the pipe, and then they zip tie right into there. So I think we've pretty well got her done here. I'm going to cinch it down. Otherwise, I think this project has been complete. So hopefully this will give all of you motivation and inspiration to make your own kind of do-yourself enhancements on your vehicles, your campers, your vans, whatever it may be that you're traveling, just to make your traveling a little bit more easier. So until next time, if you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Give us a like, write a comment, and if you haven't yet already, click on that bell for notifications. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.